Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon. It's 12 just after 12. It's 12 minutes past 12, and we are live from the Cape Town High Court. As promised, I'm here with five. How many are we?
We're five.
We're five. Five survivors, overcomers, and women fathers who are still fighting for justice. We specifically came here because we are saying these stairs at the Cape High Court doesn't just hold tears, they hold the blood of children, of women, of fathers still fighting for justice. And I'm going to ask Pearl to come forward so that she can outline why we're here today. I know, Pearl, you have your own story, but I want you just to quickly tell us why the stairs today. What is so symbolic of the Cape High Court stairs?
We're here today because we're standing to fight for justice. We're standing for our constitution, our human rights, equality before this law and court to be upheld by the judges in this High Court. We're standing at the footsteps of this High Court, which bears many cracks which has been failing our people's lives, causing them to become homeless, losing their children, fighting for maintenance. I'm fighting an international estate before this High Court, and 23 judges have failed me to uphold the rule of law, to apply my human rights and constitutional rights and equality before this court.
So, Paul, quickly, I'm going to ask that Carolyn steps forward. And I want to say this today. It's really the backdrop of today is really, thank you. Who is captured? That is one of the things that came out yesterday, Carolyn. Who is captured? Whose blood and pain echo from the soil to these cracked walls? The entrusted judicial system, our legal system, the entrusted South African police force that is meant to keep us safe, the child protection statutory services that is failing our children every day, or the non-profit sector that is also captured. We are saying something is fundamentally wrong and this cannot go on. And so today I'm here to help raise the voices of people who are saying, I have been forgotten, I have been ignored, I have interdicts that has been withdrawn. We are here to ask why. Carolyn, please tell us your story.
Hi there. I just would like to really say thank you, all of you, for coming here and being here with me. I've been fighting the system now for 8, almost 9 years, trying to find my children. I've had all my rights revoked as being a mother. I am allowed no contact, no telephonic contact. I don't even know what my children look like. And I'm just hoping that they will see me live on TV to say I have not stopped fighting to see them. And I love you too very much, Dylan and Taylor.
I want to ask, because we're not going to go, I know that for the sake of some of these stories are very sensitive, some of these we are dealing with very dangerous people in the mother city, but I want to ask you, when you say you haven't seen your kids for 8 years?
Yes.
Why haven't you seen, are you divorced? Are you going to be divorced?
I am divorced, yes. And it was just injustices done through the system I was striked off as being a mother. I have not been allowed to have any more contact with my children.
Is there a social worker involved?
There was many social workers, people from all the children's courts have helped me, but no, nothing has prevailed. I was told to get some reports done, which I did do, and the courts didn't accept the people that I got to see.
Okay, so we have a mother,
yep.
We have a woman who longs to see her children. Children don't just belong with a mother, they belong with both mother and father. Yes. And so today we're asking, why are the kids not able to see Carolyn? I'm going to ask you, if we could reimagine a better justice system, what would that look like for you and your children? Because we can't just stand here week in and week out with banners protesting. We are saying we're living in an era now where we want accountability, we want transparency, and we want righteousness, not just for you, but for those children.
Yes, amen, amen. Thank you.
What can we do to help?
I would like somebody to be able to come forward to help me, as I've tried every door that I could possibly knock on to no success. And I would like somebody to please be able to gain access to see my children again, as I love them so much.
I know you have to leave, and we wanted to tell a little bit more about your story, but we are here to help.
Thank you.
We are here to build and strengthen the family, and we are not here to be your voice, but we are here to amplify your voice. We've got a Child Protection Act that is supposed to serve the children of this country, and we're going to use that to protect your children. We're going to use the values that you live by so that justice can be seen in our time.
I praise her. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much. But we are saying that even if it costs us our lives, we are going to stand here for our children, for our women, for our fathers, for our identity, because the time is now. We're not going to be bullied, not in 2025. So I'm going to ask you to look in the camera and just introduce yourself and tell us, why are you here today with us? And I'm so glad it's a man, because often we're thinking justice, GBV, child protection issues, it's just women. It's also men. So I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself, Chief, and then tell us a little bit about your story. Why has your story been lost under these sacred stairs? Why has these cracked halls taken your story and almost shoved it under the soil to leave you to wither?
Thank you very much for having me. My name is His Majesty King Kuku the Goronai Kona I. I'm a direct descendant of Geronimus, who's one of the 5 children of Kurtoa of Goronai Kona. My matters that I have at this specific court is in regards with institutions like Stellenbosch University, the National Prosecuting Authorities, the South African government, all in one bundle. Before those matters was brought to this court, a member of parliament that was part and parcel of the National Freedom Party then, he decided that he was going to bring a matter of a vexatious litigant against me on the basis to suppress my my position there where I was unopposed, elected alongside Zanele Magwaza in 2019. He have succeeded in order to have me arrested.
So you were arrested?
Yes, I was arrested.
For how long were you
I was
detained?
detained for 14 months on a picture that was put up at Parliament, at the parliamentary precinct in the visitations area. And based on that, they've laid charges on the party's name, the National Freedom Party's name, and a police officer assisted him. And from there onwards, I was given bail on the 4th, and then he just escalated the matter further, and it was all just for a salary and a pension. But besides, the matter was brought to court in regards with the vexatious litigant, and this is where it gets mind-boggling. When you bring a matter of a vexatious litigant, that means that it has to be multiple applications that you bring against someone. But the nature of that should be looked at if it is constitutional. Now, if the nature is constitutional, then clearly, you cannot declare that person vexatious if it is constitutional issues. But within this regard, there was already a protection order that was already active.
Against you?
No, against the person that actually declared me vexatious. There was a protection order against that specific person. And it was signed by a magistrate, and we appeared for it in the magistrate's court. This was at Cape Town Magistrate's Court. And while that happened, he came to this court and he declared me vexatious, him and his 2 counsels. And out of the vexatious litigant, the presiding officer ruled within his favor. I don't have a problem if you rule within his favor. The issue that was not looked at was that there was a legal protection order already in place, and the law clearly states if there's a legal protection order in place, that means that you have to scrutinize that specific document and make sure that the person's rights are being protected, because it's now about his dignity, about his security, etc. But that wasn't taken into account. And they declared me vexatious on the 11th of April 2023. 72 hours after that, I appealed the matter. And when I appealed the matter, I received a judgment 2 years later. And the judgment I received 2 years later was a extemporary judgment. So basically, what it says is that it was given orally in court, and then there must be a written judgment given to you. So based on that, I was given this verbal order in court.
A verbal order?
A verbal order in court, even though it was in writing. And then I received the judgment 2 years later. So meaning that I could not process any matters within that specific time frame of that 2 years where I could not obtain the judgment. So based on that, I've been writing several letters to the judge president. Now usually when they declare you vexatious, then you have to write a letter to the Judge President. Now
President.
this morning I've addressed a supplementary letter to the Judge President in regards with the file that is missing here.
So there's a file.
Oh,
so
there's
always a file missing. There's always a docket missing.
Now that at the end of the day becomes not just a problem for us as layperson, because that's what we all have in common as we're standing here.
Yes.
We are lay people. But this is also becoming now a problem for advocates.
Yes.
Where advocates are also complaining that the files is getting missing in the court. Now, if a file gets missing in the court, then that says that the administration cannot flow.
I just want to say, many, many years ago, a child went missing because of a docket. The child is still missing, but the docket is gone. And so we're going to have to keep speaking about this, Paul. Why are dockets, why are files going missing?
Well, basically why the files go missing, if you would just look at what is currently happening with the political killing task team, you would find that more than 170 of the dockets went missing, but now they have retreated again. So what I'm saying is the following: I've been asked to reconstruct a file that was not given to me.
Was that opportunity not awarded to you?
It was not awarded to me. And what is the sad part is that I had two matters within the Equality Court. Now, when it comes down to Equality Court, the Equality Court is focused on Section 20. It has absolutely nothing to do with the civil law within the Roman Dutch law. Now, what the High Court is currently doing is, and this is the issue that I actually put to them, asking, is the judges trained at the Cape Town High Court in order to adjudicate equality matters?
Sure.
Do you understand?
I understand. So I'm going to ask you in closing two questions. One, as a person of color, specifically you identify yourself as Khoisan. We know that there's been a struggle with issues with identity already. How does this make you feel as a Khoisan chief in this country? Post 1994, we are still not being heard.
I can tell you why we're not being heard, because we are being denied Section 20 of the Constitution. We are citizens of this country. But when we come to a courtroom, then the judges make sure that they do not respect that specific citizenship that we have, because citizenship, it's not just about me living here, it has to do with the jurisdictions.
Yes.
It has to do with my status.
Yes.
It has to do with everything that I am as a human being.
Yes.
Now that is what is being denied in this court. Our citizenship, even though we have IDs, we are being denied citizenship legally as a technicality in order to push us aside.
It doesn't just infringe on your legal rights, it infringes on your very basic rights.
And that is the why I say that
Your
the way
basic human rights, your
and
human
this is what
rights.
I'm saying is that what needs to happen at this court is that this court should be reconstructed and reconstitutionalized. I say why is because this court belongs to Simon van der Stel. Simon van der Stel and his entire cabinet started this court. So this court is still based on Roman Dutch law.
So you say it's built on the pain of people.
Bolded within it. And that is the issue. So when we walk into this courtroom, we need to pay a sheriff in order to come to a court so that the matter can be heard. If we don't pay, they make sure that the judgment is set aside, that the respondent can go now to the bench and with his attorneys, without you even being within the chambers of the judge, they go there with draft orders.
So I'm going to ask you another two questions, and then we're going to go on. Did you speak about a very important issue, an issue that is not palatable for people? They don't want to hear the term decolonizing. So in a perfect world, if we could reimagine South Africa, what does a decolonized courtroom look like for the ordinary person on the street?
What is it? This is what it looks like. It's a court that will give you absolutely no justice. It's a court that do not understand what is law. And I tell you why. Every time you walk into this court, it can be the normal person. The first thing that is being denied is the law. The law is there to prevail justice. And that is the thing that they do not give us for that to prevail. Now, if you look at justice itself, justice is when we speak out against injustice and we are being silent in court. So my question is at the end of the day, why did they go to law school?
So my question is, I want to ask you one question. If we could reimagine a society where the system works for all people, not just the wealthy, but someone from a community like Manenberg or Mitchell's Plain, what would that look like if we should deconstruct and decolonize?
This is going to sound very blunt, but it has to be said. Johan Rupert needs to decodify the law. That's what he needs to do, because we are living here in this courtroom with codified law. It's like you come to court today, you are dressed as a black man, but tomorrow you can wear different clothing because tomorrow you can be a different person. So it is just a law dressed up with different kinds of clothing. Simple example, I was in court here with Club and Makoto. One of the law firms that actually wrote the Groups Areas Act, that actually wrote the Registration Populations Act in this courtroom. I won 2 directives against him. And my case was delayed for 1 year and 6 months until Patricia Goliath decided that she was going to shift it to Nathan Erasmus. And when I encountered with Nathan Erasmus, I had to remove it because there was one document that wasn't present, is the vexatious litigant.
So I want to thank you very much. We're going to continue this conversation because it's not something that can stay here. This is the second time I'm interviewing Paul, and we're saying we're going to come back here, not just for Paul, not just for you, but everyone who this court has failed. Something that you say, Chief, that is so interesting. We're standing on the grounds of the very court that passed the Group Areas Act, that the very Group Areas Act that has birthed the terrible Cape Flats, where we are now struggling to survive, where our children are being murdered, where they're listening to music where they're listening to bullets like it's music to their ears.
There we go.
And it's become normalized on this very staircase. And what we are calling is for the sacredness of this space. We are calling for justice to flow and rain from here, so that we don't have people that are sitting with fear, sorrow, broken hearts, and some who we have lost because the system has failed them, simply because a protection order was withdrawn for a woman from a man that is told he will murder her. So I'm going to ask that we call Our Lady on this
Thank you
side.
for having me.
Thank you, thank you. Oh, let me
Okay,
let me obey protocol.
Yeah, let's obey protocol. That's not
Thank
like
you.
no, that's not right.
Shh, can we just? We still live. I know we want to chat. So I just want to say, for those who have joined the live now, we are live on Voices of the Bridge, a platform used not to be the voice, but to raise voices that has been trampled on because of systems, because of processes, because of institutions and policies. And it's almost ironic that it's just few weeks away from 16 days of activism, where we continually see the brutal treatment of women, not just in death, but through the system that fails us. And then we're meant to be mothers, we're meant to show up, we're meant to go back to work after this. And we feel the emotions here, we feel the space. And so we're not just talking about it today, we're also holding space for the rest of the country who courts has failed. And so I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself, sister, and I want you to authentically tell us who you are, where you're from, and what has happened to you.
Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Charmaline Swiggelaar. I'm a mother of 5. I survived GBV on serious matters. And sadly, the courts have failed me for over 15 years now, and I'm not going to give up. That's why I decided I'm here today, because I feel there's so many women and children out there that are failed by not only this court, other small magistrates courts. I've unfortunately had to deal with it, and I came through it. My kids are luckily now all adults and teenagers, but I'm still in the mess because the court has failed to keep my restraining order after the one judge president of this Cape Town High Court said that the ex-husband will kill or shoot me, and still the magistrate court takes my restraining order away. And then on top of everything, I'm currently homeless because of a divorce that went very ugly, because of, again, the system in the High Court failing me and my 5 children. They were supposed to look out for mother trying to get out of the abuse, and what did they do? They push the kids right back into the abuser's hands, and they take the mother's power away and leave me totally stranded on the street. And yeah, I'm still standing for justice because I want justice. I feel like the court have failed me, not only me, but the 5 children too. Because so much could have been done to totally prevent all of this, but still the people in power in this High Court, judges, have failed me.
So we're appealing to women, even to fathers, where the court has failed you, that we ask you to speak up. It is not the plight of a woman to be looking after 5 children without any support. It is not the future of women to be on the street
Just to add, I got a vexatious court order on the 24th of December last year. So currently I'm standing here with 33 court cases of GBV,
Sure.
including rape, including serious assault. The NPA sent me a letter. They're denying me justice. They're denying me the right to have human rights, because a man can do whatever he does with me, and because I don't have money, and once the case comes to court, I don't have any legal rights. And it happened in Paarl Court, it happened here, and in Stellenbosch Court. So that's why I'm here, to stand up and make my voice.
It's okay, and even when our voices shake, even when our voices tremble, we are going to lift our voices, even if we help amplify your voice, but your truth will be spoken. We will ensure that we have justice for this family. Why is it that money ensures you a link, a pathway to education? Money allows you to get to work. Money allows you to sit at the table. Money allows you to see your children and to access justice. Not in our time. We are going to say we are going to stand with you. We are going to keep going to court. We are going to make them listen. We are going to call in the Department of Social Development to ask, how can we be doing this to a family? We are doing secondary trauma to you.
I just need to add, this specific court on the 4th of November 2020 in the room 6, I was here, I had the case privately done by a judge, which I won't mention by name now for my own safety.
Yes, don't.
She said she will lock me up for 6 months, and I actually had the guts to tell her, then lock me up. I will be out of this courtroom today, or out of the prison today still, because I believe there's women in this country that are not standing for this, and especially the women societies and the GBV groups of women that's standing up against the abuse in this country, because we all had enough. There's too many suffering and nothing is being done. And then she said to me, but you can't speak like this in my courtroom. I said, no, ma'am. Mr. Nelson Mandela, our ex-president, didn't go to prison 27 years for me to come in this courtroom.
Yes.
And be told I need to shut up. And that's where I stood up. And that same judge still can't handle me because of that incident, because I spoke up directly to her and I said, I'm not going to be pushed in a corner and told to be silent.
We will not be spoken to like that. When we even we've heard women being abused with that word, my court. Have you ever heard him say my house?
Yes, ma'am.
My car? And now you come into the courtroom and you tell it's
abuse.
My courtroom. We will not be bullied. We will not be made.
Even with a serious assault case where a butcher's knife was pulled on me and my 9-year-old and 11-year-old, they're all adults now. When I filed the case got missing. I managed to retrieve the case again, got it on the court roll. Nothing happened with the case.
Does he have a lawyer?
All the time, the same lawyer, the same
And he
attorneys.
pays his lawyer well?
Very well.
Thank you.
And advocates. And then just the one case was over 1 million, almost 2 million.
And we leave a woman with nothing. I'm going to leave it there. We're going to have a roundtable discussion leading up to, because we believe as the bridge that 16 days of activism is every day. We have to advocate because we are in serious trouble. We keep saying we're living in a patriarchal society, but what are we doing as the legal system to break that, to unravel that? We don't want to cement cracks anymore. We want to take the walls down that is abusing and keeping our women enslaved.
Thank you.
Sure. So I just want to say thank you. We're not done. I just want to keep saying thank you. We're holding space. The space here is emotional. It's very emotional.
Can I just add something? Because I feel Cape Town is under a lot of trouble because we're sitting with a lot of evictions. And it's mothers and children that's suffering. I'm one of the victims too. I've went to 2 evictions. The first one was 22 days after the 2020 event in this courtroom. 2 days later, I was evicted from the farm where my ex-husband are the owner, like a dog in front of my children. And the fact that the case was in this court, they didn't allow the Stellenbosch legal aid to assist my case, then this wouldn't have happened, because I was denied any justice by denying me to have a person to represent me. So I went on and represent myself all this time because I'm not going to give up. I know what's the truth and I want justice, and that's why I'm still standing
So
here.
something is happening in Stellenbosch, because this is the second story I have. At the Stellenbosch court, a farmer that is now wanting to evict a 37-year-old, and he is her age, but the grandfather has said that they must never be taken off that land.
Oh, but here's the glitch.
And I want to say this quickly. Something is happening in Stellenbosch court because they are not standing with this sister, and she's also going to fight. And it's about women and land and eviction in this country, in this Western Cape.
But this is very sad, and as a GBV activist and a human rights activist myself, because of my circumstances, I started to help other people in the community because I've been through so much.
Yes.
And with my experience at Nyanga Police and Bloekombos Police working with crime, I started to reach out to the communities and assist ladies with GBV cases as well, court stuff as well. It doesn't make sense because when you reach out to Riva Steenkamp, like in my situation, foundation, they said to me they can't assist me because I have too many GBV cases. So where else must a woman go when she have over 30 GBV cases?
When you say you reached out to them for help, what type of help?
I asked them for any help because I was struggling at that time. I'm not in that bad situation now
anymore.
But that time it was worse.
And I want to say this, and we're going to end here with you. I want to say this even to the shelters out there when we are designing these programs. You cannot get a woman back up on her feet in 3 months.
No.
So when you take her into a shelter, we have to rethink how we do this emergency shelters. We cannot help someone with 4 or 5 kids for 3 months unless we are able to open up the door and reintegrate her back to a next phase, because otherwise we just re-traumatize the person. And that is a struggle that we're going to speak about in 16 Days of Activism in November even more, when we speak about the social protection of women in this country. The fabric is torn. And I'm going to leave that there. Thank you very much. Thank you for telling us your story. I want to encourage you to keep speaking, to keep crying, to keep shouting.
I might be locked up
It's okay.
because I got the court order stating I can't say anything.
You don't have to mention their
I'm
names,
here.
but you tell your story. You keep telling your story, and then now we're going to say we have a legal team now behind us that is supporting us, that is saying, as women of color in this country, we are not going to be silenced when you
No.
call on the law, because we also have legal representation. We are not going to be scared. We are not going to be put out of courtrooms. We are not going to be said that we are hooligans, or they call us mad.
Yes.
You're not going to make us look mad. We are going to stand, and we're going to stand together.
And I can still smile even if my teeth got slammed against a face brick wall and I got a JT8 and the perpetrator walked free. This is this High Court, and this is Paarl Court doing this, and Stellenbosch Court.
Ladies and gentlemen, Voices on the Bridge with my sister, who is an absolute hero. We are going to stand with you. We commit to walk this walk with you until justice and righteousness sweeps through every part of the city and country.
Thanks.
With you. You cannot speak about pain. You cannot speak to someone about brokenheartedness and sorrow if you haven't gone through it yourself. And I absolutely understand that while we're trying to fix ourselves, we are also pulling along others that is still there. And so I just want to honor these women today. They have dealt with issues of rape. They have dealt with issues of deep, deep brutality from men, brothers, court systems. They have dealt with it, but they have stood with other sisters. And so I want to honor them, that even in their own pain, that they stand. We are not here to look for likes. We are not here to look for traction. We are here to come and tell you the raw truth of the reality of people in this country, specifically people of color. We're not going to make this palatable for you. We're not going to make this exceptional for you. We are here to tell you our truth. Because 30 years later, after our democracy, it's being filtered. And then we say this is the best run province in the country. Natalie, it's so nice to have you here. As I said to the other ladies, I just want you to be as authentic as possible. I want you to tell your story. You may make mistakes, but we're here to hold space for you, because we want justice, we want truth, and this is your truth. Doesn't have to. If your family is listening and sometimes you're feeling, oh, my family's there, wat gaan hulle sê? You wanted to tell it, and so I'm going to encourage you to do that unapologetically.
My name is Natalie Williams. I have currently been going through 5 cases for the past 3 years. In 2023, I found out that my husband was raping my 15-year-old daughter, and this came to light when my daughter suffered an ectopic pregnancy, and since that day I have been fighting. I was brought to the High Court by my ex, or not my ex yet, we are still legally married, and his family. I couldn't afford lawyers to defend myself at the time, but with help from the Sarki Bartman Foundation, I got a pro bono attorney, and she could only assist me with the children's matter. She couldn't stand in High Court, but she also got help for me, and the case was sent to the family advocates, and months later nothing came from it. I asked my children's school to help me protect my children from a pedophile and rapist, and they said they couldn't do anything without a court order, so they still allowed the father and grandparents access to the kids at school, where they could just come and remove the kids. And from there, my attorney moved the matter to the Children's Court in Cape Town, and we had that matter sorted, but now I'm just fighting to get divorced and to get maintenance for my kids, because I'm the only sole provider for my kids. He refuses to pay anything towards the kids because the kids are now half custody with him, so he refuses to give anything towards them. This court also, the High Court, also failed to protect my kids from him, and I don't think that is justice for someone that has raped one of my own children, or a child that he helped raise since 4 years old. Yeah,
That's okay. I think we're going to leave that there, Natalie, because we know the sensitivity around the case.
yes.
I remember there's a lot of stories that comes to the bridge. We simply don't have the capacity, to assist when there is an immediate removal or help. Because when she needs to leave, she needs a place to go to. And as we know, the places there is not enough spaces in Cape Town. I probably just want to say I'm really sorry for what had happened to you. And it's something that sounds very trivial, my apology. But that's something as so brutal that happens, that you don't have a space to come to where 1, they can make you feel safe, 2, that they can fight on your behalf, and 3, that they don't make you feel like you are the perpetrator simply because he has money and you don't. So I've asked the question yesterday to Paul. I've asked if this was, because we're going to assist, but just on this platform, if this was the perfect system in South Africa, our legal system, because we're in a process now prophetically of reimagining what this should have been like and what this ought to be like, so we can call it to order. What would that look like for you, your little girl who has been perpetrated, who has been brutally violated by someone who ought to be a father? What would that look like for you and your family if this was a perfect justice system for Natalie and her family?
If it was a perfect justice system, a rapist shouldn't get 2,000 Rand bail, because
Sure, another 2,000 Rand bail.
2,000 Rand bail, he was out within a week, and he's still walking the streets. He still has access to the kids' schools and kids' sports games where there's other kids around. I think that like other justice systems in other countries where pedophiles should be rated as a pedophile so that it's not allowed near kids.
And so I just want to say this, that 90% of the child brutality on the Cape Flats is a reoffender. He has been let out, some on 500, some on 700 rand bail, and he does it again. Also, the sexual register, the name passes me by now. The sexual offenders register is so outdated that there are people that has been trialed, that has been sentenced, their names still don't appear on that register. So that in itself is a problem, because we allow these people back into our schools, we allow them at our Sunday schools, and we allow them back onto the playground without healing and restoration.
Yes.
Is there anything you want to say to another mother listening? I mean, it's not easy for you, and you're busy with your own journey of healing, but I also know that you're walking with other women. I know you were in Langa last week and asking the bridge to come and assist with something. So you're there still. What do you want to say?
To other mothers who's fighting for peace in their lives, because that's all we basically want, is just peace and safety. Don't stop fighting. There is help out there, and just keep praying, because God is so amazing and He sent so much help to me, and I never stopped praying, and I never stopped asking questions, and I kept seeking for help just so that I can have justice for my kids and my daughter and for myself, and live life in peace and happy with my kids. So don't give up, keep on fighting. And I know sometimes it feels like it's dragging on too long, you just want to give up, but that is the time where you just keep on pushing. And if you have kids, your kids are watching, and your kids are seeing that you are fighting for them, and they will know that you never gave up, and that you're a strong woman.
Sure.
And that in the end you will overcome all of this, and may God be with you.
Sure. Thank you. I also just want to say to the fathers out there that is struggling today to get access to their children because of the same issue. Fathers that also wants to be in their children's lives, that don't have access because of an angry mother. Don't give up. Keep fighting. It's easy for the father to say, to turn away because of ego, to say, I have tried. I have tried. They keep pushing me out. The mother keeps closing the door, the grandmother. One day you will tell your child that daddy did all he could to fight for you. That's all a child wants to hear.
Yes.
We are also saying there are good fathers out there, and we also want to encourage you, don't give up. Keep knocking on the door, or call us, call Paul, call the bridge. There is help. Thank you, Natalie.
You're welcome.
And
Thank
so,
you much.
it's a pleasure. And we're going to keep talking, we're going to keep having these conversations. I'm going to ask Paul to come up. I think this ground knows you already, Paul. So you spoke about the Constitution, and I'm going to share my mic with you quickly. 30 seconds, what you're saying, because we have the most progressive Constitution. I'm so proud of our Constitution. The issue is always about the interpretation of the Constitution and the implementation of it.
I agree, because currently there's always cases, but no one's getting anywhere because nothing is being implemented. And that's why I decided to join TUSIM, the United South African Movement, 2 years ago with Solly Moeng, where we are dealing with issues and trying to get the authorities accountable, all about the Section 9 and everything. So we're currently looking at the NPA and looking at stuff like the Constitution, where we can address issues directly with the authorities, because we feel that the problem lies with our authorities. Everyone on the ground floor are doing their utter best, especially the activists like me included and Pearl. We scream, we shout, but we can only do so much. We need the people that's empowered to take action and do action, because they all are just about talking, and nothing has been done. The same with crime in this country.
And I actually said that, Paul, before I give over to you. I said, I really want to come and I want to raise, because that's part of what we do, is to raise voices. But I don't want to be part of a space where we're only going to kick and scream, but strategically we're not going to dismantle the systems that has caused this, that has enslaved our people for centuries. I want to be part of a space, or the bridge wants to be part of a space where we don't just bridge gaps, but we come along and say we're going to bridge gaps to dismantle that, because otherwise we're going to go like this and like this and like this. And then the second thing that I want to say is to Natalie, because there's some questions here. I just want to say we can never blame ourselves for the actions of our partners, for the actions of fathers or mothers that we have entrusted with our children. And it's difficult. And I just sense that I want to say this to that woman and child listening there. Mm-hmm. Do not blame yourself for the action of your perpetrator.
Exactly.
Paul.
Tarryn, thank you so much once again for hosting us, for helping us raise our voices and to get our stories out. Yes, this High Court is quite familiar. The securities, they all know my name as I run in and out of this court. The soles of my shoes knows these steps, and this is what's keeping me in shape right now. Apart from the injustices of what I have endured myself personally in this High Court, I've been fighting my legal battle for 5 years now. It's not a gender-based violence matter. It's an international estate of my late life partner where he passed away. I'm dealing with fraudulent trustees and
Speak up.
I would say fraudulent legal team, lawyers, advocates, and unfortunately I have my doubts about some of the judges who have been party to.
You hold it.
Some of the judges who have heard my matters. None of the 23 judges who have heard my matters to this point has applied the rule of law. They have not applied the Constitution, nor have they applied my human rights for what I am entitled to before this court of law, or equality before this court of law. In fact, what my opposing lawyers have done, as he's the director of a big law firm, they've been the lawyers of the Steinhoff International huge pension fund fraud, where since 2016 they have abused this court system with legal tactic, which has helped Marcus Jooste defraud hundreds and thousands of South Africans of their pension fund. Many people have lost their homes, they've lost their businesses and their families due to this abuse of the system, and party to of these judges in the High Court that has signed orders for this legal team who's gotten away with murder. They've basically ruined so many people's lives. What I'm stating here is all public knowledge. They've done the same to me. They basically have abused the system with legal tactic. They've tried to block me from access to the court, and I'm pending on the judge president, and I'm waiting for her because my matter is back on case management before the judge president, and 23 judges of this High Court have violated my human rights, my constitution thus far. The reason I'm doing what I'm doing and I'm speaking out, I'm fighting for justice under the social impact with Pearl umbrella, because every citizen should have access to these courts. Doesn't matter whether they live in Mitchell's Plain, whether they live in Hanover Park, whether they're poor or whether they're wealthy. It should not be the large Jewish firms controlling this High Court. Basically, my director of my opposing lawyer, the director of this big law firm, is writing letters or directives on behalf of the judges, when the judges should be communicating directly to me. He's basically become the voice for the judge president when she's not responding to my letters to her, which clearly shows me that we have a huge problem. The fact that there are so many cracks behind these walls, that the system failing our people, not only in abuse, maintenance, divorce, criminal matters, it is with women going through partners who have lost. The master has been corrupt as well. The master has been in and out of the media for the last few years due to corruption within the master of the High Court because of estates and trust. There are many fraudulent trustees and executors that is walking scot-free, that is abusing the system because they are professionals in the legal system. So I'm pledging, whether there's any of these judges, they're all human, and they know they are humans sitting behind a title. And apart from the entitlement, that they actually still make a constructive decision based on their oath and the obligation which they have failed our people with. I've had a number of my colleagues today, or people that I'm assisting as well, who has shared their stories of the injustices and what the system has done to their lives today. And my message out there is, please speak up, raise your voice, don't allow them to silence us, because you do not understand your constitutional rights, the rule of law, and your human right, the basic right for the law to be accessible. And the law should be accessible not based on Jan van Riebeeck and for those privileged people. It should be based for every colored, black, poor, average to wealthy person, and we should be treated equally before these courts, not judged and treated unjustly.
Thank you very much, Paul. So we're going to conclude by saying I just want to thank you all for sharing. This is going to be not even the start, because we've started. We're going to keep telling our stories, different spaces, different places. We've got a legal team behind us that's going to support some of us, but we're asking people out there that can do pro bono work for our people to please come and support women. Come and please support our children. We have lost children, we have lost women, we have lost men to suicide because they have just given up. We are saying under the robes of many a truths covered here at the Cape High Court, we are going to call out, we are going to ask for accountability. Our dream, our hope is to reimagine a South Africa where this space works not just for the rich in Constantia, but for those in Stellenbosch, but for our children in Manenberg, for our women in Anova Park, for our people in Mitchell's Plain that live in squalor because they are not socioeconomically free yet.
Not to mention the people in the townships, whether they are legal or illegal foreigners, they also are here. Once they touch our grounds, they are citizens. Until they are sent back to their countries, they are also entitled to law and medical assistance. One other part I want to say to you, Tarryn.
Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you.
The other part I wanted to mention is I've been very disappointed, highly disappointed in the Law Practice Council, who should be holding lawyers, advocates accountable as legal practitioners. They have failed our people dismally. In fact, what they do is they strike out complaints of people in favor of the lawyers that is they're favoring.
We are going to write to them on Monday. We are going to stand there on Monday. We won't stand there on Monday, team. But we are going to go to every space that has failed our people for the sake of justice.
I have to bring to your attention as well, the High Court's offered pro bono services, another lip service, because I'm still waiting for my pro bono services. I'm on a waiting list. Law Practice Council, in fact, out of 6,500 practitioners they have on record, they've only sent my application to 7. And they state to me in 7 months that they have done nothing, that there's nothing they can do for me, which is a shame. It dismally shows you how our systems have broken down, and those who are supposed to protect us, to make sure that the lawyers and advocates do their job for what they're supposed to maintain the fight for justice.
Thank you
they
very
fail
much,
us.
Paul. Thank you so much. Social Impact with Paul. You were live with Voices on the Bridge with Naked Reflections with Tarryn Bell, proudly sponsored by Moja Multimedia and Bricks TV SA. We catch us at our next story that brings you issues of justice, of truth, issues of equality in our time, issues of inequality in our time, so that we can see justice reign. From the slopes of Table Mountain to the outskirts where they've dumped us in Khayelitsha and Mitchell's Plain. I'm Tarryn Lee Bell, and this is Paul. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to Moja Media, Tarryn Lee Bell. Thank you so much for everybody who's come and told this story today. And we cross our fingers, build strength, that we can fight for justice. Thank you.